Hey guys, BlazeThrough Gaming here and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. And in this video we're going to go over this week at Bungie, which was posted last night on the 12th of April. Okay, so let's get into this. So they start off the TWAB with the new development roadmap, which we saw the other day when the new DLC reveal happened. I'm not going to get into this and go through the list again because obviously we went through that in the other video, which you can see linked down below. It lays out everything that we can see on screen currently anyway, so feel free to press pause and have a quick read through that now. Right, okay, so they also do have like a little disclaimer at the bottom and just to let us know that to give us a good idea of what Bungie are planning to release for the months to come. They also do say that these delivery times are goals. Some of these features could move around as we get closer to the release. So they're not set in stone. Obviously, some of these in the roadmap they can change around, but we are aware of that. Bungie did also release the 4K version of the Warmind artwork that we saw the other day, a part of the reveal. If you're looking at the image, we can also see on the right hand side, we can see that there is like a moon / asteroid looking thing, and behind that we can see Phobos. So this basically tells me that our hunches for the last God knows how long are correct, and that we will be getting to go back to Mars in this second expansion. We can also see on the image that we are definitely going to be in the snow caps, because also in the background you can also see the redness as well. So this is definitely the most amount of proof that we've got to say, yeah, we're on Mars. So there's a lot there, a lot of good details in this sort of image as well. If we dissect it a little bit more, obviously we can see behind the actual Warmind bunker, we can kind of see this red sort of glowy system. Kind of reminds me of something of like the Avengers with Jarvis. But hey, that's my other nerdy side coming out. But yeah, if you look at the bigger structure, we can see a lot of tubes coming into this structure, which to me kind of reminds me of Rise of Iron with the Seaver when we go into the replication chambers. So it is looking likely that we will go up against Seaver at some point in the game if they're the new big bad, or if Bungie actually have a new big bad that we've never seen before. Okay, so there's going to be some changes to how power is done in Destiny. They're looking at reformatting how we go around against enemies as well. So that's going to be changing. This was brought to us by the combatants design lead, Tomo. He brings up a little bit of a spiel to kind of say, look, this is what we've been working on. We want to increase the difficulty on PvE, make it harder for people on consoles and PC, but also make it a lot more challenging and a lot more fun. So we can look to see this coming at the beginning of Season 3, so fingers crossed that it'll be coming on May 8th. So Tomo does say in his update for this, is saying the main goals from this tuning pass are to provide a more challenging experience for the players. When they take on higher leveled activities, we should make power progression and equalize more meaningful, reinforced and reward to energy type matchmaking gameplay, and provide opportunities for our master PvEers to demonstrate their powers at the higher levels. Then it kind of goes down into a little bit and just like bullet points a load of information of what we can kind of see and break it down a little bit more. So there is changes to our outgoing player damage scale versus high level combatants deeper. So basically make it a little bit more difficult, similar to Destiny 1. As a result, the higher leveled combatants will take longer to kill than they do currently. If you are above the current levels, you'll still melt them like we currently do now within update 1.1.4. Next point they also said for this is that they're changing is extend our outgoing and incoming damage scale from competing at 40 power level down to a 50 power level instead. In Destiny 2, our scaling only affects the difficulty of combatants up to 40 power levels above the player before plateauing. So by increasing this to 50 power levels, adding a little more room for players to show off how badass they really are. So obviously by increasing up to 50, it's going to make it a little bit more harder. But obviously the higher you are, the easier it will be. We're still with a bit of challenge. Tomo then says, when combatants are at 50 power levels or higher above the player, they will be immune and display a question mark icon on their nameplate. OG Guardians probably remember the first time they stumbled across a hive in the depths of the Cosmodrome. Bungie wanted to bring back that feeling of mystery and provide challenges for players to come back to later in their journey. It's going to be a nice little challenge that's going to be added so you can come back at a later date. So the next point Tomo goes over is the enemy shields. So we currently know if we use an energy type weapon currently, shields go down a lot easier. So what they're saying is a matching energy element damage to shields is more effective, roughly 3 8 times damage plus the current shield duration, followed by a non-matching energy, roughly 2 times damage. So what they're saying there is if you are matching the energy of the bad guy, so say like the bad guy is a void and you've got a void weapon in your energy slot, that shield's going to have a bonus, roughly a bonus damage of ×3. So if you're using, say, I don't know, solar against a void combatant, you're going to be looking at dealing roughly 2 times damage to that person or that enemy. But if you're using a kinetic weapon on that enemy, there won't be any bonus damage multipliers affected to that enemy to further incentivize the matching game. And they're also saying that this will not be like if you come up against an enemy, a higher leveled enemy with like a display of question mark, you basically won't make any sort of damage scaling on any higher up combatants. So that's gonna be interesting. So obviously, you know, you're gonna bring that whole element of playing smart. Okay, if I want to take this enemy down, I'm gonna have to match my weapon to that enemy. But if you haven't got a matching element to that enemy, it doesn't matter. You're still going to enemy down pretty quick, just not as quick as you would if you had the same and you were matching. So I was also going to incentivize using that kind of energy / if you're me, you know, special weapon slot. Okay, then someone goes on to mentioning that it says the previous challenge also allows us to bring back match game as an additional prestige nightfall modifier for extra points and bragging rights. When this modifier is enabled, all non-matching damage to energy shields is reduced by 10%. So make sure you're team coordinating appropriately. The current plan of match game to launch along with the rest of these difficulty changes. Then Tomo, in his last point, they then turned around and said that they're looking forward to seeing what the community can do and show off in PvE in the future to come. So, you know, there's that information there that they're going to make enemy types a little bit difficult, especially if you're lower end, like, you know, making our power actually stand out. Because currently, you know, it was something that I noticed when playing the main campaign of the game. It's like, well, hang on, I might be at level 10. But the enemy in front of me hasn't got a level on it. You know, in D1, you used to go up against an enemy like, oh, okay, this guy, yeah, I'm level 10. This one's a level 11. It's gonna be a little bit tougher than a level 10. You know, it's doable. It's easy enough. But then, you know, if you try doing a harder level, an enemy at level 20, and you're only level 10, there is no hope in hell you're gonna really wipe that enemy out really effectively. You know, you might get lucky and you can do it depending on the player base. But you know, good luck if you're gonna do it. You know, that was brilliant because you know, like, I can't do that one yet. I have to come back to it. Brilliant. But you know, Destiny 2 didn't have that. You don't have levels on the enemies currently, so I'm perfectly happy with them changing the difficulty coming up with this. Okay, so now we've talked about the kind of the difficulties, they now move over to kind of the charity work that they've done. If you want to learn more about the 2 different charities that they are currently representing, one on the 27th of April that they're taking part in, and another charity that will be taking part on the back end of May, which is on the 20th of May. If you want to have a look at it to kind of check out that, I will leave a link down to this week at Bungie down below, and you can check out and have a little bit of a read through the good causes that they're doing there. Okay, last but not least, Iron Banner. Iron Banner is making its 6v6 debut on April 17th. Obviously, it should have been here this week, but obviously they had that late breaking bug that they had to kind of postpone for, you know, good reasons. They obviously replaced Iron Banner with Rumble, and they obviously changed Rumble from 8-player free-for-all to 6-player free-for-all, which also I've got involved in this week. I thought I was going to get my ass absolutely handed to me, but I actually did quite well. I'm surprised at myself. But anyway, guys, so we can look to see the 6v6 Iron Banner, and I believe this is the last Iron Banner for Season 2 before we jump over into Season 3. Okay, so that's Iron Banner out the way. They have done a couple of hotfixes to the game this week. So they've got hotfix 1.1.4.1, and this bug was to address the issue players are having with spawning into the tower. And if I remember correctly, this has been a bug that has been around since day one. I mean, I've had this point where you get like black screen, you can hear everything going on in the background, but you got no screen, you can't do anything, you know, pain in the ass bug. They're saying that they have addressed the issue with the spawning into tower, but they do say, well, if you are having any problems with it, obviously #help and let them know what's going on. They also talked about Destiny 2 PC crashes as well. If you're having problems with the crashes, they're also saying scan and repair in the battle.net app. Failure that doesn't work, there's a lot of other information on the website. Like I said before, I'll leave a link to This Week at Bungie in the description field down below. So if you are having crashing issues on the PC, check it out. It might be able to help you out. So just a quick recap. So obviously we've gone over the roadmap. It hasn't changed since the other day. Also the 4K image from Warmind DLC. They brought out that 4K nice looking poster for that one. And obviously a lot of details on new and upcoming power progression within Season 3, or starting in Season 3. So some good stuff to come. Looking forward to it. I can't wait to get my hands on Season 3 now. But anyway, guys, I've taken up enough of your time. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up. If you haven't enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs down, but please put in the description field what it is you disliked so that I can make sure I don't do it in the future. And if you want to keep up to date with more news from Bungie and Destiny 2, then hit that subscribe button and check out some of the other videos. But anyway guys, I'm BlazeThrough Gaming. Until next time, catch you all shortly. Bye for now.